Welcome back to the Avenue, and thank you again for being here. Today we're going to talk about something that may sound a little controversial, but we're going to talk about it, and it is that you can have it all. And you're thinking, can I really have it all? I believe that you can. Maybe not in the way that you think you can, but we're going to discuss how you can actually have it all. Stay tuned. Now, there is a myth out there about having it all. Being on social media, being on Facebook, being on YouTube, we see a lot of influencers with the big house, all the cars, all the jewelry, all the trips, all the parties going on. And we think to ourselves, they have it all. But having it all may not mean having a bunch of stuff, a bunch of things that you buy that you can put your hands on. Are those folks really happy? We've heard stories of singers, entertainers with a lot of money, but not being happy, taking their own lives, drug overdoses and this type of thing. And we wonder, with all of that stuff, why weren't they happy? And so having it all does not necessarily mean you have all the cars that you want, all the houses that you want, all the watches that you want, all the jewelry that you want. Those are things those are fleeting things. But what really makes you happy? That's what we want to focus on, because you can take, relatives, you can take cousins, you can take siblings. One may value one thing, one may value something else, and that's what makes them happy. So what we want to focus on is what really makes you happy. And sometimes you got to sit down and think about it yourself. What really makes me happy? I like watches just like the next person like watches, but my sister may not like watches like I do. She may want to spend her money on something else, but I only have two arms. So how many watches do I really need? And will watches really make me happy? After you get one thing, there's always something else that you're going to want. So by having it all, let's see where our values stand and how we can have it all. The real secret to this feeling of abundance is not in how much you have, but it's in being intentional about what you have. It's not about getting more things, but being intentional about the things that you already have or the things that you're getting. There could be a person who would rather live in a smaller home and save that mortgage of $800 or so a month and travel. That's what makes them happy. They want to be out there traveling. So they're living the life of abundance. I follow a lady on YouTube that is a nomad, and she doesn't own any property, but she owns a van, and she lives in her van. But she gets to go around, travel around the world to see various countries, see various things, and she doesn't have to pay a lot of stuff that people that own homes and, have cars that they have to pay for, have jobs that they have to go to. They can't do the things that she's doing, but she's living that abundant life and she's having it all. You can tell in the joy that she shows and her videos that she puts on YouTube. So it just depends on where you are and where your value is. And that's what we need to focus on more rather than getting more stuff. Because more stuff, you guys, let me tell you, more stuff won't make you happy. But we need to narrow it down to, because being around family sometimes, having the family. I've known people that at first said that they wanted to become millionaires, decamillionaires, have 20, $30 million. And then because they were working so hard to get that, they decided, no, you know what? I want to scale back some because I have a family now. I want to spend more time with my children. I want to see them grow up. They need me at this point. I don't need to go and make more money. Going out there, making more money and your home life isn't doing what it needs to do. That doesn't make you happy. That's not abundance and you don't have it all when you do that type of thing. So what we need to focus on is being intentional. And you all know that my work for this year is intentional. I want to do the things, say the things, be the places that I need to be to get the most out of life. If I don't need to be there, if it's going to throw me off my goal, I don't want to go there. The answer is no, I'm not going. So let's just keep this in mind as far as feeling abundant is it's in the things that we intentionally invest our time and energy in, and not necessarily just getting more. At this time, I want you really to sit down and think what brings you genuine joy. What really makes you happy, gives you that long-lasting satisfaction. It could be spending time with family. It could be traveling. It could be getting into your crafts or your hobbies. It could be something like that. Normally, it's not something that is physical that you go out and purchase. It's how you're spending your energy, how you're spending your time. What really makes you happy? And that's what you need to focus on as far as being intentional. So don't let this moment get away from you. Think about it and, write it down if you have to, but that's where you need to move to if you want to have it all. I want you to intentionally hit that like button and that subscribe button and share this video out. Make a comment, because I will be coming to you, bringing you more information, and you don't want to miss any of it. I want you to have it all. Let me tell you, there is power in intentional spending. There is no greater power, you guys, than to be able to walk into some of these stores, some of the jewelry shops, and to know that you can afford to pay cash for anything in that store. Even some of these car lots you walk onto, you can walk into the showroom floor, and no matter what they have on the showroom floor, you can actually buy and pay cash for any of the cars on the floor. However, because you're in control of your intentional spending, you can walk out of that place, get back in your Toyota truck or whatever you're driving, drive away, and be satisfied with the fact that if you wanted to, you could, but you didn't have to, and nobody is influencing you to do anything that you don't want to do. It's all based on intention. So intentional spending is a powerful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And it's not being, over self-confident or anything like that, but it brings a little smile to your face to know that you have the secret that they don't know, that they think that they're going to sell you something, and you could potentially buy whatever you wanted to. However, because you don't want to do it, you just came to look that day, came to look around. You're not buying anything. So you go in, you look around, and you leave. But just to know, it's just a little spark in your eye to know that you could have bought anything on that showroom floor, anything in that store, anything in the jewelry cabinet. You could have purchased it if you really wanted to, but you want intentional spending. And I'll give you another story. I have, rental property. And so at one point in time, not my current renters, but at one point in time, I had some renters that they had motorcycles in the garage. They had big screen TVs. I didn't even have a big screen TV. My little TV was a small TV, but they had these huge. I walked into the living room of my property and they had this huge, like 70-foot, 80-foot big screen TV. Then when I walked into the garage, he had a motorcycle in the garage. They had cars and a motorcycle in the garage. However, they were renting from me in my paid off rental property. Okay. So it appeared to me just a little that the priorities probably weren't in the right spot. Now, and I'm not being judgmental of anybody, but if that's what made them happy, renting and having TVs and motorcycles, great. But I like my rental properties, and they can have the TVs, they can have the motorcycles, and I'll take the rental property and the rent that they're giving me every month, anytime. So just to let you know, if we put things in perspective and do the things that we need to do first, because those people very well could have saved up, bought them a house in 15, 20 years, had the house paid off, and still were able to have the big screen TV and the motorcycle if they choose to do that. So just letting us know the various things, but we need to get our values straight. Once we get our values straight, the decisions become easy because the decisions are going to be based on our values. We get the values straight, the decisions become easy, and we can have the abundant life and live that abundant life that we really want to live and have it all. This may be a new way of looking at things. It's not the glamorous having all the big houses, having all the big chain jewelries. And having all the cars, in the garage, 6, 7, 8 cars in the garage, when you can only drive one at a time. But, and most of times, you guys, those people are not as happy as they appear to be or pretend to be. They're not that happy. Family time and just very basic things that when you lay down and go to bed at night, you're with you and you know what's running through your mind. You know if you're feeling abundantly blessed or if you just have a pile of bills on you at that point in time. Truth is, and all I'm trying to get you to understand is that you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything. And so the thing is to focus on those things that are really important to you and let the rest go guilt-free. Don't worry about the stuff that you don't have. If we would be more grateful for the stuff that we do have in our lives and value those people that we have in our lives, we would be in a better position mentally and physically, and financially we would be in a better position. But focus on those things that are really, truly precious to you, the things that are making you happy, and don't worry about the rest of the stuff. If you focus on the stuff that you really, that's important to you, that's where you need to stay. That's where you need to live. That's where you need to be. So that's the point I'm really trying to drive home, is there are things that are important to you and things that are not so important to you. And don't let anyone influence you to come over to one side or the other. You know what's right for you. And as long as you do the right thing, you'll be just fine and you'll live that abundant life. And you can have it all, let me tell you. Get your values straight, get your decisions straight, your priorities straight, and start living that life that you deserve to live. With that, I will see you in the next video.